Hello everybody and welcome back to M&J Games. I am Michael and welcome to another Park Spotlight. I'm very excited to have a very special guest with me today. I've got Iron Matty. Do you want to say hello, Matty?
Hello! Thank
Dude,
you for
that sounded
having me,
nothing
Michael.
like me. That sounded nothing like me at all. That was a terrible impression. It's
All right.
hello.
Hey, well, I can't get the pitch in my voice like you do there. The hello.
How are you
So
doing anyway, Michael?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's funny. I circled back around because I didn't know if you're about to be like, "Hey, let's start that over." But it kind of works out perfectly. I'm
No, let's
terrible
go.
with
Let's just go with it.
impressions.
It'll be fine.
I
No, it'll be
know.
fine. Let's just go with it.
Absolutely. So I'm doing good, man. Thank you, Matty, for joining me on this park tour. And how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing really well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me along. It's been a while. We haven't spotlighted together for a while now, have we? It's been a good couple of months since we've
Yeah,
done
it
a joint
has.
spotlight, isn't it?
I
I've
think it was
missed
that.
you.
I missed you too, man. I think it was that park that I forget the name of it now, but is that one that you talked about? Like, how in the world did we miss this? That Alpine
Yes,
style park.
I
That
remember. Yeah,
yeah. So as you can see, we just went over the entrance to the car park, right? The driveway into the park, and this is Wild Forest Park, created by Joajai. I believe I pronounced that correctly.
you missed all the
Um,
VIP parking.
I missed the VIP parking. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and look, but hold on, where's the VIP parking
Oh,
again?
you've gone past it already.
I've gone past it already. Man, I'm
Yeah,
a bad host right now. So,
turn around,
um,
turn around. There. No, on these like kind of just to your
oh, I
right. Yeah,
see. Ah, there we go. Okay, I gotcha. So VIP, we got NH, Hobo Billy, Magic Mike's, Cake T, Iron Matty. There you go, buddy. You
he
gotta.
sucks. You don't want to watch him.
I can second that. Um, no, awesome
On the
though.
other side as well, you missed yourself.
Miss myself. Where am I
Go
looking at?
back!
Oh my
Go
gosh.
back! Turn left! Right, go straight forward.
There we go. Oh my gosh, guys. I'll just blame it on the fact that it's been a long day teaching today, so I'm a little bit off, so that'll be my excuse. But thank you for the shout out. And you got Tommy CM and Simulator 77, Mustang Glen, and Fistful of Herbs. So all people who are part of the console group. So it's a lot of amazing builders in there. So I feel honored to be given that shout out. So, but initially, what are your thoughts before we actually enter the park? Just kind of seeing how the exterior of it's kind of laid out.
And it's just beautiful. It's really nicely done. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, this is the second park that I've seen now by Joajai. The first one being Victory Legend Park, which I believe you spotlighted as well, didn't you, on your channel?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah,
Before I
I
got the
spotlighted that
PS5,
one as well.
so yeah,
Yeah, and I spotlighted that one as well. And this entranceway is quite reminiscent of that, but that's probably not a bad thing because it was such a high quality in that park.
hmm
But yeah, it looks amazing. Looks really nicely done. Very intricately detailed. Yeah,
absolutely.
superb.
And you got these driveways for the cars to kind of enter and leave the park. And one thing too, I believe, is that he's actually put the entrance here, as you can see the guest entering, and so it's kind of blocked, but it gives that feel of the guest actually walking up this walkway. And one thing I think it's a little bit better this time is how massive this entrance plaza is. If you think about an actual theme park, like you got to create a plaza that's large enough to accommodate for thousands of people at a time with the how many people are going to be entering the park in the morning and leaving in the evening, right?
Hmm.
So really well done. We got the entrance windows over here. So you got um, I'm terrible with languages other than
It's
my
German.
main language. Okay, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
figured it was German, but I don't speak German, sadly. So obviously ticket boost. So welcome to Wild Forest Park, and this is just awesome. Really cool. What are your thoughts here of the entrance building?
I love it. I think it looks so genuine and so authentic for what a theme park would be, and just exactly what you said. It's nice and big and grandeur, and you can imagine thousands of people like piling into this park first thing in the morning and leaving last thing at night. And yeah, it just looks absolutely superb. Just really nice architecture all the way around. Really great trimming as well that I can see. Great use of foliage. Yeah, superb. I'm a big fan of that.
For sure. I think
like that fountain as well. That fountain that you just went over. That's a couple of the different horse pieces, isn't it? But all like kind of put inside each other.
Yeah.
And then kind of coloured to make it look like a statue.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. So if you take out and then you got this piece underneath. Oh, yeah. So that's a cool. I didn't even pick up on the fact that those are actually. He would have just. Those are 3 individual horse pieces. I guess more than 3, 5. I can't count.
5, yeah.
That's really cool. Really well done. Really well done.
It's when you see little things like this that they look so genuine and so authentic that, like you just walk past them. You don't even realise because you assume it's an in-game piece because it looks that good.
Yeah. Oh, and little things like this too, just kind of having little trees with kind of those little planters look really nice. And I love that coaster right there. So let's see. And this kind of reminds me of, it's not the same look, but the coaster or the theme park I went to most recently, Kings Island, kind of has this massive entrance that you kind of walk under. But, this looks really nice. Like, it is a very large entrance, but it's being utilized because you've even got you got the train station up here too, which I got to make sure and not forget about because I forgot about the train last time. So let me get the HUD back off the screen. But once again, I just love this entryway. Right when you walk in the park, you got a little fountain here. You can see the coaster in the background. Good place for a merry-go-round. And love all the hedge work and stuff.
As beautiful as this park is, and it's sensational the second that we're walking in, I'm loving it already. But one thing I have noticed straight away that might be just a little bit of a quick fix is the trees are all identical heights.
Yep, that's true.
And I think maybe just dropping them down just ever so slightly. With a park such as this, because it's such a high quality and it's so amazing, it feels very immersive. And even the little things, so a lot of the time you wouldn't notice in parks if all the trees were the same height. But because this is so good, the trees stand out. So maybe just kind of like just go around them trees, just spin them. They all look like they're the same way as well, a lot of them. So just kind of like go around, especially the pine trees that are behind the one you're looking at right now. So if you were to just spin the trees, like all of them, just lower some, raise some a little bit, I think that would make a really big difference. And it's just one little tiny thing that I noticed that I wouldn't normally notice in a spotlight, but because it's so good, it stands out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. And I think sometimes too with it, like you said, it's when you actually look at a theme park, like it is just covered with trees. So the fact that Jirojai used this many trees is completely realistic. But as you said, you got to kind of lower some, you got to kind of move some at different angles. You just got to kind of have to take the time to make them look unique in their own right.
It can be tedious, but it pays off in the end.
For sure. And one thing I love too here is just like you said, the detail and the realism. I mean, you got these little fountains here, which are really, really cool touch. And I love this part here. And so I think so you got toilets back here. So that's kind of a cool touch too. And I'm guessing that's a staff door. So personnel might mean staff or something. So, and I like this building too. Just the details on this little building is really nice.
It's trimmed beautifully.
That's what I got to work on.
Very effective. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I can give all this feedback, but actually putting it into practice myself, I feel quite bad sometimes giving advice to people because I'm just as guilty myself.
So we normally always go left. Let's go right this time. So we got the wild forest area. So over here we got steampunk area, skyfly. I don't want to mispronounce those last 2 words, so I know I'll butcher them. But once again, I mean, look at this. So for this little flat ride, I love the detail of this building and how it's it's nothing too crazy, but yet it just adds that extra, just kind of detail with the queue and stuff, even though this line never really gets super long. But I think that's a really cool touch. And then obviously here you feel like you're in the woods and really feel secluded.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's very much less is more, isn't it? Because if you imagine all the pieces that are placed around this flat ride, 150 maybe, give or take. It's not a lot, really, but it just adds to it, and less is more. You don't need to go crazy. You don't need to be creating a great big 4,000 piece blueprint for a flat ride, but something like this, it looks fantastic. As you said, it's brilliant, but simply done.
Yeah, for sure. Well, then one thing too, I wonder what you think about this too, is you're talking about like the tree height and stuff. One of the things that I love doing in this game is adding rocks. Like adding some rocks in here and even some rocks in here where you kind of have some trees around them. To me, just adds that extra bit of realism to it as well.
And maybe kind of like little tiny elevation changes as well, like that you would only really notice when you're on the ground level kind of thing. If you were walking around in plipcam mode, just these little tiny, just little bumps and elevation changes that wouldn't necessarily mean kind of like changing the path or anything like that, but just again, just that it's nitpicking, isn't it? Because
for sure.
When you come into a park like this, it's so good. All we can do is like nitpick at the tiny things because it's such a good park.
Amazing. And then I love this custom fencing too for the to go around the flat ride, and then you've got the train going right there. So that's all a really good touch. So now let's see. Trying to keep track of the time for us, and I love this custom fencing on the side here. Like even though it's just a wall piece, like that looks so good along with these kind of archways and stuff. And then every once in a while, with the archway, you've got the detailed column too. I think that adds just a lot of, looks really nice.
Yeah, it really does.
Gosh, that looks cool. And then I like too how now you kind of walk down. So now we see a little bit of elevation change, and this kind of gives me I don't know, is this considered the steampunk area? So we got a little souvenir shop. A little bit of detail inside, which is nice. Maybe the only thing I'd suggest is kind of putting some detailing, like whether it's a wood piece or something, or concrete column, kind of around the opening. Do you know what I'm saying? Like putting something here, so it's not just the brick piece, just kind of.
Yeah, I get.
If you get what I'm saying.
Like just a wooden trim just around the door.
Yeah, wooden trim, or not to spend too much time doing this, but just real quick, because for me, like I said, once again, we can give this advice, but
I'm the worst person in the world. I'll tell you what, Michael, I've had the biggest creative block this last month. I cannot build a thing at a minute. I've completely lost my mojo with the game. And I can spotlight and I can give advice, but I cannot do it myself. And everything I create right now, I'm deleting again straight after because I just don't like it. I don't know what's going on.
Well, we all have those moments. But not that you use this exact thing, but just something like this that kind of adds that extra, like texture difference and stuff. Which I don't know why when all of a sudden you get near the end, like the textures kind of fade on this stuff. That really annoys me that we have that issue. Is it takes away from the beauty of stuff. But what are your thoughts of this area?
I really like it. Yeah, I really liked it. And it's nice to see him try and do a different theme as well. Because, of course, in Victory Legend Park, you had the Chinese area, you had a Asian area. I can't remember off the top of my head what the other areas were, but it's nice to see him try and branch out and now do a steampunk area and like kind of really try and utilize and almost step out of comfort zones, which is really nice, rather than stick to what you know, try and do something different. And yeah, it looks brilliant. It looks really nice.
Agreed. So now this is the first coaster called Cole's Chipper. I'm sure I totally botched that and I apologize. So we got fast lane, and once again, I mean, really good job with this queue. Like I like even just the detail of having the pipes, above the head. I feel like just really makes it gives it that real steampunk vibe, right?
Yeah.
So this is a really, really good job. I like how the ceiling kind of matches the wall as well, at least with the color scheme and stuff. So really good detailing here. So now if we ever get to the entrance, Here we are. So it looks like we have, is this a mine train coaster? Oh, and we got the little baggage check over here. Not baggage check, but the little cubbies where you can put your bags. Really nice touch. I mean, look at this. Look at this station. My
Yeah,
goodness.
I love this. I love this. It's just brilliant. Again,
Fantastic.
simple but effective.
Mm-hmm.
It's not excessive, is it? There's not hundreds and thousands of pieces in here, but what he's done really works.
You know what I love that he's done too? He
What's
put
that?
flooring underneath the coaster. So you're
It
not
makes
just...
such a difference, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, even if you were just put like cement flooring underneath it, it makes such a difference because you're not just seeing the ugly like bit of nothing below. Yeah, so this is a canyon runner. I mean, stats don't really matter too much on these just because they're not really large coasters. So let's go ahead and take a ride on the coaster. All right, so that was a fantastic coaster. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was really good. I actually really enjoyed that. I think it was super smooth as we
Mm-hmm.
went around. Really nice little layout, quite a small footprint as well, great theming. My only critique of the whole thing would be I felt it went up the first lift hill and then around the drive tyres a little bit fast. You didn't have
Mm-hmm.
time to build up the anticipation for the ride. Like normally it would be a little bit slower and you kind of like have time to kind of like, ooh, like this is going to be good kind of thing. But it kind of went up and around so quick, it was like kind of going before you'd even realise what was going on. But that is literally the only critique I've got because the rest of the ride was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the only, which I love this ending part. Like I agree with you. I just kind of like how this goes through this little, this part at the end. But I think my only critique, because I agree with you 100% about the speed of it. I always turn the speed down to the slowest it can, just because that's how most roller coasters are in real life. I think these lights here need to be pushed back, because if you were to look at it at nighttime, so like if we were to look at it at nighttime, like some parts of it are lit up nice, but this is just kind of way too bright when you come through this spot down here. So that's honestly the only thing I would change about it, other than that lift hill thing you were
Maybe the
talking about.
torches. There's little kind of like mine
Oh
torches,
yeah,
isn't there? Like
yeah, for
little
sure.
lanterns. They'd probably work quite well in there actually.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think just putting those on the wall for sure would work well. So let's go ahead and when you exit, I think you come through a shop. Or am I? Oh, there's toilets. Where was the exit to the coasters? I don't want to miss anything. Um, oh, here's the exit. Now there is a ride later that you, I believe, exit through a shop, but yeah. So there's the exit to the coaster, and I like to, just having in that thought of okay, well, the guests are walking beneath here, so creating that extra kind of covering on the path. Something that's not needed obviously in the game, but I think it's a nice touch, and those little planters look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, really well done. So let's try it. Let's move it on. Once again, love how we. It's pretty cool that it's just like that one little spot that's um, kind of dipped out from the rest of the park, if that makes sense.
It really differentiates between the two areas, doesn't it? Well, I
Oh,
say
for
two
sure.
areas. The areas of the park, should I say. It really makes it its own little unique area.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one looks cool. So Gruner Blitz. So once again, we got some toilets. That's a good thing too. You got toilets in each area. It looks like. Once again, we got a nice shopping area. Oh, nice shirts. I I like all the screens around for like the photo on ride. Why did those turn off? Oh, I didn't know you could actually have them flash like that. That's pretty cool. Um, and then yeah, so let's take a ride on this coaster. Just looks
I
like it
love the
might be.
colouring all around here, you know.
Yeah.
Like all the green around here, it just looks
Mm-hmm.
really nice. The whole area just looks fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, and then using the plants too. So like the coaster's green, and it is a lot of green, but he's used the different types of plants that kind of add in that extra color other than green, with green still being the base color. So I think it looks great, and I love this entryway. Wow, this looks fantastic. That is
Again,
really cool.
simple but effective.
And it's cool too how I'm guessing, since this is a wider path, I mean, it's just cool how it was able to have this wide kind of entrance and then it gets narrow. So that's pretty cool. And the color scheme up there, really well done. And we got a little bit of queue covering here, which is nice. So while you're waiting in line, you can look up to the top of the lift hill. Oh, we've even got an interior. And little things, even just like having the security cameras on there, adds that sense of realism. And
Almost
those
feels
are,
like it's telling a story as you're coming through the queue, because you will have these rides that kind of like have the people on kind of like explaining the story of the ride, kind
mm-hmm,
of thing, and it almost feels like that.
for sure. And then looks like this is the little operating area where you have the fast pass with a nice choice for the lights there. Then once again, simple station but effective. Oh, look at this. That's a cool kind of
Wow,
control center.
they really
That's
went to
cool.
town with this control center, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, really, really well done. And so this coaster, it's a Anubis coaster. So if we look at the stats real quick, 161 feet, G-forces look good. So it's not going to go upside down at all, but it does have 4 airtime hills. So let's take a ride on the coaster. All right, Matty, what are your thoughts?
It's your turn first. After you, good sir.
Oh, it's my turn first. Okay. Yeah, I really like that. I think this, in terms of realism, this first hill, I think has a little bit too long of if you can kind of see how, I'm trying to think of the correct word, how wide that kind of first drop is in terms of how long it takes to actually start going down the drop. But the coaster was really fantastic. And I like how it's a lot of floater airtime. So it's kind of got these long, extended airtime hills. And I think maybe the best feature of it is the fact that you have interaction or Jojai's got interaction with in theory, these cars that are entering and leaving the park. So I think that was really cool. The only thing I would say is since this is a pre-made piece right here, I think you could tell right here that he probably either enlarged that piece or shrunk it a little bit because when you do that, it kind of messes up you can't really smooth out that area, if that makes sense. So that's the only negative that I have was that one little spot. But it was a great coaster. I think my favorite of the two so far.
I would agree with you on that. Yeah, I think that coaster was absolutely fantastic. With the exception of that one tiny piece that you just mentioned, the rest of the ride was perfectly smooth all the
Hmm.
way around. Some great little like bunny hops airtime as it went around. That sight line as well, the top of this left hill, superb. I do have one critique with this park, and I don't like having to do it. And I'm kind of going back to a point that I was making earlier on. I feel like the foliage in this park doesn't feel natural.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
On the outside, the inside the park is superb. Inside the park is ace, loving it, just amazing. But it almost feels like the outside of the park, certainly like this ride, because it was going around this area as well, going in and out of them trees a lot. The trees don't look natural. They look
Right.
very, let's just chuck some trees down and that'll do kind of thing. And it's very green as well. It's like kind of I just would have liked to have seen. It's difficult to explain. A bit more terrain paint,
Hmm.
definitely, just to break up the solid green floor, and just a bit more variety in the trees and the foliage. Now, obviously, I can see that he's used the red, the orange, the green, the conifers, things like that. But despite that, it still all looks very chucked down. And
Right.
it's a shame because it is kind of taking me away from how good the park is. And I don't want to sound like I'm being a moaning granny, but it is just kind of like breaking the immersion a little bit because the inside the park is so good. I love
Hmm.
inside the park, but yeah, the foliage for me is pulling it down just ever so slightly, I'm afraid.
So I agree with you, but I'm going to disagree on one point because I agree that I think the like I said before, if you actually look at Google Maps and you look at the top of a theme park, it is flooded with trees. But to me, most of the trees are green. So I personally don't like mixing these different colors of trees all over the park in your wooded areas because of the fact that like most theme parks originally were part of like a forest. And so to me I like using the sycamores are good, but using a lot of the oak trees in different sizes and raising some up, lowering some, spinning them, doing all sorts of different stuff. And it seems like it's just kind of like you said, just they're just kind of placed and not really turned too much in a sense. And I also
Yeah,
think it's trying to mix too many different kinds. Like, and so that's, I mean, like you said, we hate saying that, but I think that's maybe our main critique of the area. But when you're actually down the park, which is ultimately what matters, for the most
yes.
part, you don't recognize it. Like there, I can see, okay, those pine trees need to be changed a little bit. But overall, like from what the guests see, it looks, I mean, obviously, it looks fantastic.
I
So
mean, this is way above any level what I can build. So
I don't know
I can
about
sit
that.
here
Eden Gardens is
critiquing.
a fantastic park, man.
I'll never recreate that. I can
Yes,
never
you will.
recreate
Yes,
anything
you
that
will.
good.
That's what I think every time before I start a park, and then each park's gotten better. So you got it. I love this little realism part here for like you got a staff up there. Really well done. Staff door here. But yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic park. And as always, when we do these park tours, we like to give some critiques at the end of the day because it's, you like if I, like Matty, when you look at my park, I love to hear your thoughts, right? Like, what could I do better? That's how we get
Yeah,
better.
I must admit, you might not think it, but I hate giving critique. I hate doing it, but at the same time, I don't like to be like, oh my god, that view is ace. I don't like
Yeah.
just being like, I love that, I love
Oh,
that, I love that, I
perfect.
love that, because people won't. Oh, that is amazing.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Oh, that inversion. Yeah, I think if you only ever give praise, you don't come across as genuine or authentic. And I'm no expert at the game. Neither of us profess to be, do we? But we try and give advice where we can without being like harsh. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, yeah, yeah, this
Yeah,
is ace.
absolutely. Yeah, it
That
looks really
coaster was
good.
amazing. That sight line.
So Adventure Tour Wild Forest. So instead of riding this, we're just going to kind of go along the path just because for the sake of time, trying to keep this under an hour. But I mean, look at this queue and entrance area. Like, my goodness, this is phenomenal.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Wow. See, this is
So
like,
much
this is something I look
scabola on
at.
top.
Yeah, it looks great though. Like, it just really looks overrun. I mean, maybe add a couple more vertical beams or something there. But I mean, this is phenomenal. Wow.
It's beautiful. Yeah, but I agree with you. Maybe just a couple more vertical beams, but,
Yeah.
I mean that is it. I mean, it's just
Oh,
stunning.
so good. All right, so let's kind of. I don't know if there's anything triggered. I wouldn't be surprised if there was. Let's see if at nighttime. Yeah. Ooh, that looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is a night ride, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is so beautiful. I need to get better with making water rides. So this and having all that scavola there on the side just really just adds to the realistic look of it, and it's almost like kind of mossy and stuff.
And all the rocks as well.
Hmm.
All the rocks on the side, like you can see that all the rocks, they're different sizes. They're all turned
Ooh.
different ways as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another example of the trees right there. Just kind of changing it up would kind of make it not look as monotonous. Would that be the word to use?
Yeah,
So,
I mean the critiques that we've had are quick fixes as well. So
oh,
it's
for
not
sure.
like we're like, oh, that whole thing needs ripping out. They're just little quick fixes, and it's just going to be things that can make this park even more amazing.
Ooh, look at
I
this
love
little
this
bridge.
tunnel. Wow, with all the bats on the top. I'm
Uh-huh.
Batman.
So much detail. That always like getting on a tangent real quick. Like I'm always like, how can anybody take Batman serious when you listen to him talk as Batman? Don't get me wrong, I love Batman.
It's only
Batman's like my
Christian. To
superhero.
be fair, it only started with Christian Bale. To be fair,
Okay.
Batman didn't really. I mean, Michael Keaton's. He talked with a little bit of a rasp, but not like Michael Keaton. Not like when Christian Bale came along, and like kind
Yeah.
of Christian Bale has kind of like almost cemented the modern day interpretation of Batman, like kind of with this very deep, like I'm Batman kind of thing.
Yep, man, look at these. I didn't realize these are basically just all right beside each other. Those tunnels. Really, really phenomenal job. And then just the views too of seeing the other rides as you kind of go around this space is just unreal. And sorry that we're having to go through this quickly, but for the sake of time, and then obviously how this station is lit up. There's the use of the torches.
Would you possibly mind, Michael, if we just get a quick overview of that ride,
Yeah,
please? I'd just
absolutely.
like to kind of like see that from above a little bit as well. I mean, that is, it's just superb.
Hmm. I mean, it's got a good footprint too, which is what's
It's yeah,
fantastic.
it has, and it's like smack bang in the centre of the park as well. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realise. I just assumed that that was on the outskirts of the park, but it's not. It's smack bang in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Good
And then
luck
like,
trying to find your way back out now.
oh,
I'd be
I got it.
totally lost now.
And then that
Oh, the
one view.
train goes over the top.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize that was the train. I just figured it was a walkway. Oh, this is cool. Hold
Oh,
on.
it's a train and a walkway.
Oh, this is cool. Oh
That is
man.
brilliant.
Wow, this is awesome.
And that is so realistic as well. It is the type of
Uh-huh.
thing that you would see as well.
Oh my gosh. This is
Them
so
sight
cool.
lines as well.
Yeah, and then that wooden coaster, and then we got this massive, whatever this building is, this castle. I mean, this is so cool having it sectioned off like this. Like, that is one of the coolest things I've seen in the game, to be
I've
fair.
never seen anyone do that before. I've never seen anyone do a almost like a joint walkway bridge with a transport ride going over, like kind of right next to it. But
Yeah.
when you think about it, I wonder why people haven't, because you do see it. That is what you see in theme
Yeah.
parks.
So we'll have to go there in a second. Oh, there's like a Viking building.
I'm
And
so
then
glad that you're spotlighting this, mate. This looks like an absolute maze.
Viking area. So we got it is, but I have looked around beforehand because obviously this is a park that we were all excited to see. So I kind of have an idea. But here, the Temple of Legends. I wonder who's considered a legend. So we got Albris, who created oh my gosh, of the Aztec Park. Anthony Duang, I think. So we got, these are all,
So Anthony Duhigg did the Uncharted, like the Naughty Dog
oh,
Park
that's
and
right.
Jungle of
Okay.
Giants.
So you got Axel, Boz, Kakis. We got all the different Brivades. So we
You
got
miss
all the.
Chrissy. You're
Is
reading all the
Chrissy back
names and you
here?
miss Chrissy.
Oh, Chrissy. My bad. I wasn't gonna
Poor
read them
Chrissy, she'll be
all.
crying.
I know. I wasn't gonna read them all, and then I realized in my head subconsciously, I was like, oh my gosh, I just forgot to say that name, and now I'm saying everybody else's name. My bad, Chrissy. I'm so sorry. So yeah, so this is just a really cool touch too of just really making all of us kind of feel like we're all a part of each other's creations, which is really cool to see. Um, Fantastic. But the funny thing with this is, what do you
Where are
think this
you?
leads to?
I want to find me and you.
Okay,
I
let's
think
see.
I remember where I am. I
So
think.
there's.
So there's Corey, Web
Hmm.
Gaming.
Oh, there I
Last
am.
time. There, oh, there you are.
Sonomatic.
I'm like, I
Uh,
think I'm behind you. I think on the other side. So I think I'm on the opposite side of these. I think, if memory serves me right. So fistful of
Iron
hooves.
Matty,
Yeah,
there
there's
you are.
there's me. I mean, I don't know about you. Well, I'm pretty sure you feel the same way, but I'm just totally honoured to be
Hmm.
featured in a park like this and be like placed alongside what, in my eyes, are some of the best creators on console.
Oh, for
And to be
sure.
mentioned in the same breath and to have a Hall of Fame plaque kind of thing, I'm just honoured and touched and blessed to be part of it.
Absolutely. Totally agree. And then we got some more here. And so it's amazing too with this creation that this doesn't even lead to a coaster, it just leads to a flat ride.
Yeah.
So it's just really kind of cool, really cool
What's the
touch.
writing up the top? There's writing at the very top.
Um
Full
oh it's
photo smile.
so it's gonna be like a camera, like an on ride photo thing. Really cool. And then real quick before we exit this the train goes through here as well. So really cool. Oh, perfect timing. Perfect. Really cool interactions with so much stuff in this park. Is it's just phenomenal. Um, Now we need to
I
get
can't say that word.
phenomenal.
No. For no, for none, 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 none. For none, none, none. I can't say it.
See, that's like me trying to say an anemone or something
I can't
from
say that either. I can't say it. And then. Yeah. That's why I haven't done TJ Puff's SpongeBob SquarePants park yet. Because it's set in me and I can't
Mm,
say it. So I just haven't spotlighted it.
yeah. All right. Well, let's see. So, like I said before, I'm trying to keep track of time. So, oh my gosh, this is look at this. This
That
is
is
got a
cool.
really cool. Oh, I like the plants there too. It really gives that Aztec feel, and um, oh man, that's really cool.
It feels quite demonic. Like kind of
I can see
quite
that.
yeah. Can we just have a quick look at this at night, because obviously there's a lot of fire
Yeah,
and flame around here. I can imagine it like kind of almost a bit of like a hellscape kind of thing.
yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. It looks phenomenal. Really cool. Really, really well done. Oh, the wing coaster, fantastic. So now, as we head this way to Black Eagle, and so it's got kind of this spooky theme to it once again, which we'll ride the coaster during the daytime, but I think this is probably a pretty cool cue to walk at night. So as we kind of head this way, once again, I mean, just the detailing on the cues is so nice. Like it's really
Hmm.
immersive. It's not monotonous, and I love
Each
using
one is
these.
unique as well, isn't it?
Oh, for sure, and I love using the haunted house wall pieces there. Those are really cool because they're still wood texture, but it kind of gives that different look to it. So, oh, this is cool. Wow. I mean, this is just really insane how nice this is.
I mean, I know. Obviously, I have like kind of done a couple of critiques in this park, but I don't want that to kind of like be a reflection upon how I feel about this park, because I love it. Absolutely love this park. I think it's on such a high level.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Um,
s- you know how we talked before about how it's really not like that detailed, but it's so nice. This one is like super detailed. Like,
yeah,
look at all the decorative pieces and stuff that were used for this. Like, this is the coolest, one of the coolest stations I've seen.
yeah, I
Like,
would agree with
wow.
that. Yeah, I would agree with that. Super highly detailed, just beautifully done.
So let's look at the stats real quick. Biggest drop 120 feet. G-forces look good. It's got 3 inversions. And let's go ahead and take a ride on this coaster. All right, Matty, what are your thoughts on that coaster?
Once again, the quality of the rides in this park cannot be faulted at all. They're just such a high quality build level. Once again, really smooth, kept up a great speed, great inversions. It's funny because I did a spotlight a couple of weeks back now, and in that spotlight I said it was quite a big park, but it felt like a mini park when you were on the rides because of the way that the rides were interacting with each other and with itself and everything. It felt like a smaller park than it was. And I kind of getting the same feeling from this park. This is not a small park by any stretch of the imagination, but it feels like a smaller park because of the way that he's managed to intertwine everything and get everything interacting with each other. Yeah, just superb. Loved it. My favourite ride of the park so far.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a fantastic coaster. My favorite ride as well. I think a couple of turns could have used a little bit more banking. Like I think it was where was it? I think this turn could have not maybe no not that one. There's a couple of turns I felt like probably could have banked a little bit more. But overall, I mean, just phenomenal coaster, and the viewpoint from right here is just, I mean, this is second to none right here. um, this is insane. Maybe
he knew what he was doing at this point, didn't he? At this
yeah.
point, he knew what he got at this point. He knew what a good sight line that was. So to not put trees and bushes in front of it and make sure that that was left open so everyone could stand and watch it.
Yeah, I think that's a thumbnail location. So
Yeah, that wasn't
potentially.
accidental.
No, that's fantastic and really well done. Now let's get back to where we're at. Let's see. So, like I said, I do agree with you. I think that was the best coaster in the park so far. And I love the control area with it, the station, just everything about that coaster. And just the theming around all the flat rides is really good. And then I think this area, we haven't been down here yet. So we got one more main area to look at. And so I think this looks nice, but to me, it's a little bit out of place, if that makes sense. Because I guess what's the name of the ride?
This time I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay. Thor's Hammer.
Purely because of that. Purely because of what it's themed around. Purely because it's the Norse mythology, Mjolnir, set in Jotunheim kind of thing. I'm actually going to disagree with you on that one. I think because of what the ride is themed around, I think it works. So there you go. My turn to disagree with you. I
Well,
quite like it personally.
Okay, yeah. And I'll be honest, when you said, like, I know a little bit about Thor, like, I'm not huge into Marvel. I know that's where we disagree.
No, it's
And
not. It's not Marvel. It's not.
Yeah.
It's like no. It's not like kind of the MCU Marvel Thor. That's like proper Greek mythology, like kind of your proper Thor, not your superhero comic book Thor.
Okay, but yeah, so that I'm less knowledgeable on that stuff too. So, but when you said like Norse mythology and stuff, I was like, okay, this makes sense because now we're about to be in the Viking area, so it kind of makes sense how that's kind of set up there. So I agree with you. You've changed my mind on that.
I never change anyone's mind. Well, we are both married. We know what it's like.
Yep, yep. I love that sign up there on the coaster. That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a nice viewpoint. Love this little food spot.
What a unique building.
I know, like sometimes the stuff people build, I'm just like, how do you like get the vision for this? Like so unique yet so nice.
I think sometimes people do it by accident. I think sometimes people will chuck something down and they'll be like, oh, okay, that works. And just kind of like just go with it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it looks great. And then I think maybe my favorite thing about this park is the unique and really extravagant entrances to all the coasters.
Yeah.
I mean, now the first one didn't have as extravagant as an entrance because it's the steampunk area, but I mean, just look at this. Like, this is phenomenal.
They look so authentic to a real theme park, don't they? Like, kind of the way that it's been. And I think, do you know what? This might be something that I do moving forward. Is have because he's extended the queue paths so wide, he's been able to hide the cylinders easier.
Yes, that's
No cylinders at all. Yeah, because whenever I've tried to hide cylinders, I've like kind of made the queue look really small because I
right.
haven't widened it at the end. So
Yeah, it's a really cool touch.
Superb.
Really cool touch for sure. And like you said, it's like most theme parks with their big coasters, they try to advertise them, right? So you're going to have these in the plaza, you're going to have these massive signs for it and stuff. And wow, is this pretty or what? With those ironwood trees, I think is what they're called. But
Just
that
amazing.
is really gorgeous.
Is that a custom fence, or is it just different coloured? That, or is it just that the texture's not? No, not the yellow. That it's because the wood hasn't loaded in. Right, okay.
Yeah.
To me, that looked like a custom fence, but it's because the wood hadn't loaded, like to the textures. But yeah, an incredible queue.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible. This is. Do you know what? I'm actually going to go out on a whim and say this is one of my favourite queues I've seen.
Yeah, this is fantastic. The only critique I have is like looking maybe right here, it looks like those are all the same rock or pretty close to it. And so I know it gets super tedious, kind of like with the trees, but just kind of varying up the direction and the type of rock and stuff can kind of go a long way as well. But then you got these custom supports right here. Just that little extra section I think is a cool little touch. But man, how cool is this? Like
It's
this
just insane.
I mean, you really feel secluded and kind of separated
Feels like
from
God
the rest
of
of the
War.
park. Oh yeah, I can definitely see that. Wow, this is and I love all the little gargoyles around and stuff. I mean, this is insane. I agree with you. I mean, this go ahead.
The interaction with the ride as well, how it's constantly going underneath the ride. Sorry, I cut you off then. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was just saying I think this queue along with the queue for not Phantom, the last coaster we rode is just insane. Oh my gosh, how long is this queue? This is crazy. If we're ever going to get to the entrance of the coaster.
So thank you ever so much for watching, everybody. Anyway, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.
I mean, wow. We'll have to take a look at the end of kind of an overview site of that queue because that's really cool. And then look at this. You've even got these gargoyles here. Like, look at that. Wow. You got that little Viking. That kind of reminds me of it's that what was the one that wow, I'm totally stuttering over my words right now. Vince and Matty just made his Viking park and how he kind of had a station similar to that.
Yeah. Midgard Land of Vikings.
Yeah, absolutely. But I love the name for this. Look at that, all green. Love to see it. 97 feet, biggest drop. So it's not the largest coaster, but the stats look good. 3 airtime moments. So let's take a ride on the coaster. So I don't know about you, Matty, but I really think that we have saved the best coasters for last, meaning this is my favorite. The last one we went on was my second favorite. It's almost like it went in order for me of which coaster we went on in terms of which ones were my favorite and stuff. But this is, I mean, the smoothest coaster in the park, good layout, nice airtime, really unique first drop. And it's not a massive coaster for how large it kind of looks right there, right?
No, yeah. Yes, it certainly wasn't as long as I expected.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, look at this custom tunnel right here, and that's intense. Oh, and is that a stairway? Oh, so he's got stairs for the staff to get up there. Nice touch.
Crazy.
Yeah. Wow, this is so what are your thoughts on the coaster?
I'm going to disagree with you in the sense that I think this was the best coaster. I think that the last coaster was the best one, but this was a very, very close second. I think it was superb. The best queue, arguably, I've ever seen done on console. Yeah, I love the queue line, love the theming of it. As what you said, really super smooth coaster. As good as it was, I did still prefer the last one, but that was sensational, really nicely done. There wasn't a single coaster in the park that I didn't like, not one.
Agreed.
I think they were all really good.
Agreed. I don't know if you noticed this right here, but this is a cool little touch, and I could be wrong on why he did this, but I'm guessing this is so, in theory, guests can't throw stuff on the other guest riding the coaster. So it's kind of like a protection to where if a guest is standing right here, they can't just like spit or throw a drink or do something on the guest.
I mean, to be fair, you could still spit through that.
Yeah, once I guess once I said that, I realized that it was...
Normally, it's don't die fencing, isn't it? A lot of people would use the don't die fencing, but it's nice to see something different used instead. But yeah, just that little realistic touch, isn't it?
Yeah, and then look at the little realistic huts here and stuff. You got the souvenir shop. You got the on-ride photos. So keeping it the same with all the rides. Love this custom area. And so real quick before we wrap things up, I mean, just look at the queue, where all the queue goes here. Like it wraps all the way around, went in that tunnel, comes out this way. Pretty amazing.
Yeah. It really is. It's such a big park. I'm not gonna lie, when I mean, I've had a look at this park before we did the spotlight as well, and I didn't realise just how big this park was, if I'm honest. It's a mega park.
I think it
is
definitely
another console mega park. I would say this constitutes as a mega park, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what technically what people would say constitutes as a mega park, but I agree. I think it takes up a lot of the footprint. Like if you think about this Alpine theme park, like it kind of reminds me of when when Corey and I did Avery Forest, of how much we're able to kind of utilize. Now, granted, we had a massive parking lot in the front that kind of took up some space, but this is using a lot of the given space for the park. And I mean, it's kind of hard to do that because to me, I think this is the largest map. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's the largest map.
I believe it is. I think you're right. I wouldn't put money on it, but I think you're right.
Yeah. So yeah, we're running out of time, but I believe we have covered everything. I still think this might be my favorite area. I was just about to say the same. I was about to ask you what was your favourite bit of the park, and mine would have been this. Yeah.
Mine would have been this spot. There's one more thing we need to do, though.
3-word spotlight. Is that what you're going to say?
3-word park review.
Or 3-word park review. Oh, man, I should have been ready for this one.
You should have been. You were with me. Of course you knew it was coming.
Yep. You go first this time because I got to think about.
Oh, that's not
fair.
Better than Victory.
Better than Victory. Oh, okay.
And I know I had critiques, but on the whole, as a whole park, once I take everything into consideration, I would say this is a big step up from Victory Legend Park. I think I do think that the foliage on the outside needs addressing. Some of the paint tool just needs addressing slightly.
Yeah.
But besides that, the rest of the park was perfect. It was sensational and top work, Joe Ajay. Absolutely top work. Well done.
Absolutely. So mine's going to be not necessarily for the entire park as a whole, but beautifully designed queues.
That's good. That's fair enough. I quite like that.
The combination of the 4 queues for the coaster, not to mention the one back here that's given all of us, a lot of the creators in the game, a lot of love. All the queues are just phenomenal, and I agree with you. I mean, if our worst critique is that the trees need to be changed up or something needs to be done differently there, I mean, that's something that's easily fixable. It's not like we're saying, yeah, this coaster needs to be redone. It's a little minor thing, but this is just such a beautiful part.
Yeah, he smashed it. Absolutely smashed it, and I've been excited to spotlight this one, and unfortunately, this had gone into my January list because I'm kind of like full up for the remainder of the year. So this was going to be like kind of mid-January. So the fact that I've been able to come and do this as a joint with you has just been amazing, and to be able to like kind of walk around with you is just fantastic. I loved it, and I really enjoyed coming on with you as well.
Absolutely, totally agree. And of course, I'll have to join you for a spotlight on your channel coming up too.
You will indeed. Yeah, you will indeed.
Absolutely. Well, any final thoughts or anything like that?
I don't believe so. I think we've kind of covered everything. I think. Just thank you ever so much for having me along. Congratulations on almost being 600 subscribers now. I can't quite believe how well you and Jasmine are doing. Totally deserved. You're gonna be 1,000 in no time, and
I appreciate it.
Couldn't be more proud of you.
I appreciate it.
Totally deserved.
Hopefully when this is out, we're over 600. So because this is probably going to be about a week and a half from filming this. So
Happy Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. So getting closer to Christmas time, not quite there, but 'tis the season, right? Gosh, I love me some Christmas music. That's all I listen. That's all I listen to now. So, all right, man. Well, I really appreciate you joining me for this, Matty, and look forward to doing more spotlights with you.
And you as well, mate. Take care.
All right, everybody. Have a great rest of y'all's day.